Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Everyone is working from home because of the virus, so if you hear any background noise, can't help that right now. But I'm going to get started on my views of the articles that we read for this discussion. After reading the element of value, one of the first elements mentioned was a model referred to as the hierarchy of needs, which has the idea that individuals have a desire to fill various needs, and those needs can either be basic or complex. So, some of the basic needs for an individual would consist of warmth, food, and rest, and complex needs would involve a person's self esteem. From there, the article then describes an elements of value approach, and this approach takes the focus of the insights mentioned within the hierarchy of needs and alters them slightly to concentrate more on the people as consumers. So, in other words, it's describing the individual's behavior in regard to products and services. So the elements of value approach has 4 different kinds of needs that must be combined in order to have customer loyalty and revenue growth increase. These needs would include functional, emotional, life-changing, and social impact, where functional is at the bottom of the pyramid and then emotional is above that, and so on. So a section that really stood out to me from the article was about the patterns of value creation due to being able to apply how I am as a consumer with the results found in the article, and in particular, the most important aspect that all businesses need to ensure they provide, and that was good quality products or services. And I do have to agree that this is something that I always look for and will become a loyal customer to a business if they're able to provide me with this. Typically, I'll stop going to a business or buying a particular product or service if it does not meet what I feel is a minimum sufficient quality level. And another area that caught my attention was the elements found most important for auto insurance, which was mentioned on the last page. I actually chuckled when I read that an important element that customers need with auto insurance is reduced anxiety. And I actually just had my vehicle hit the other day and currently dealing with insurance, and can honestly say that I've never actually thought of this as being an important element until now, but I have been thankful that my insurance has been so easy to work with, as well as the other individuals' insurance. And I can understand why this would be something that people would look for, because if this were more difficult, I'd be very aggravated. But luckily, it's been good, though. So, stemming from discussion 1, where we were able to understand just how much marketing and advertising had changed over the years, this article found that customers perceive digital firms as offering more value to them due to providing easier interactions and being convenient for the consumer. So, in other words, digital companies are able to provide people with an experience that saves time and prevents them from going through a whole bunch of hassle. So I thought this applied to our discussion 1 due to it discussing the use of technology to provide customers for this, or with this, I mean. So for example, we have seen a huge increase in the number of individuals who choose to online shop, me being one of them, rather than going to a mall due to it being faster and more convenient. So that is pretty much exactly what the article mentioned as well. So with that being said, marketing and advertising had to adjust to target customers like this. Therefore, advertisements started to pop up on social media and internet sites. But with that being said, um, uh, I don't know how to say this word, but I'm going to do my best. Omnichannel retailer are able to score high within the pyramid in sections of emotional and life-changing, and this is probably due to them being able to provide consumers with any help from employees on duty while the consumer is in the store. Um, Sometimes I think that's nice to have somebody help me with my shopping, but for the most part, I already know what I'm going in for, or I'm just browsing, so I guess whatever you feel like you prefer. Um, and then with the second article, This article starts by discussing that customers have the digital tools like their computer or cell phone that puts them in the driver's seat, allowing them to research products or services easily and even compare those to one another and place orders and have those orders delivered right to their front door. Currently waiting on some of mine to come to the door, which is a blessing, honestly, because I hate going into big crowds, and especially with this virus, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing, but I've heard that I'm not supposed to be around big crowds, so online shopping is the way to go. Sellers typically have been reactive in the past. However, companies have decided to take advantage of the new technologies, processes, and organizational structures that allow them to be proactive, and therefore they're able to woo buyers, earn their loyalty, and gain a competitive advantage over other companies. The example company mentioned within the article, Sungvidi. Obviously, I can't read some of these names, but doing my best. That company took advantage of the customer's emails with a catchy phrase, um, having them interested, having the person who looks at that interested to click on the link. So everything from that point on was placed directly in the customer's hand by allowing the process to be completed within their own home and by clicking links provided to them. That sounds very, very easy, and honestly, I'd probably be one of those that would go through that process. Um, there were 4 key capabilities discussed within the article, and those were automation, proactive personalization, contextual interaction, and journey innovation. The one that stuck out to me the most was proactive personalization. As I mentioned, I do a lot of online shopping and feel that this is definitely a technique that's used with many store sites I visit. For example, there's one store in particular I shop from, and that's called Pink Lily. And after making my first purchase with this um, online store, I was then advertised other items that the store had to offer that were similar to the products that I had bought and might like. So, personal marketing was discussed within Chapter 5 of our textbook, and due to the fact that Pink Lily has an immediate message come up after clicking on a couple of their products, it's safe to say that they definitely take advantage of personalizing marketing to benefit their store. And as bad as this is for my bank account, I will oftentimes purchase at least one of those other items due to it having been tailored towards my interest and being something that I actually really like. And like the article mentioned, this technique of customizing my experience with the store, it's kept me drawn to purchasing products from them and made me a very loyal customer to them. Discussion 1 also discussed the change in the role of the Chief Marketing Officer, whereas this article discussed the rise of the Journey product managers within businesses. So, not only is the Journey product managers' work to continually refine already existing journeys, but they're also responsible for introducing larger scale innovations that result in an increase in value, as well as stickiness, which is to keep the customers drawn. To be more specific, they are responsible for cutting costs, fending off competitors, engaging new partners, and um, needing to understand what attracts new customers while also taking into account what would drive those customers away. And as you can probably tell, there's a similarity between both of these articles, and that is that they are expressing their views on how to appeal to customers in the best way by valuing what the customers are interested and what the customers are looking for in a product or service, as well as creating new techniques on attracting customers, like the one mentioned previously that Sungvidi used. But overall, the techniques and aspects mentioned are leading towards companies desiring a brand equity. This is also discussed in Chapter 5. That makes customers value them. So, furthermore, with the various recommendations brought up within these 2 articles and how they have already made other companies more successful, I do believe that these recommendations could help almost any style of company, even if that company had to alter the recommendations mentioned slightly. So, That is my views on the two articles for this discussion, and I hope you found it useful to you.